It's not safe to live and walk the roads of Jamaica when you're a part of the LGBTQ community.
Many countries, mostly in the Caribbean, have laws that make same-sex relations between men illegal. One such country is Jamaica, where gay rights activists have launched a legal challenge against the colonial-era laws still in operation. The landmark action has already met fierce resistance from the anti-gay attitudes, which are firmly rooted in the country's rigid Christianity and in popular music. But as correspondent John Holman tells us, the murders and attacks on gays are putting increased scrutiny on Jamaica's laws and making international criticism of them more intense.
A lot of people in the LGBTQ community has lost their life because of their sexuality living back home.
They should die. I think so.
He told me God made man and woman for a reason.
Even Adam.
Sometimes extreme intolerance spills into extreme violence.
I think consensual sexual acts between consenting adults in private should be decriminalized. I don't think the law should criminalize that activity. Yeah, that's my personal view.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Since the government is the country's leaders, they're elected leaders, isn't it your responsibility to start the country down that path?
I think it's our responsibility to try and move the country in that direction. We're intending to try and do some PR, public education, around issues of tolerance.
Can you give me an example of that and when it's going to start happening?
No. That is in its infancy. In terms of how much of a budget it will be, that has to be worked out.
They say my price ridiculous. I don't like them bitches, pussy tight and vicious. Hit them like
Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family. Without further ado, make sure you follow me at _PrinceCham on Instagram, and make sure you add me on Snapchat at PrinceCham7895. So now today we're back with another topic, and today I'm going to basically tell you guys about how being gay and living in Jamaica and, you know, just everything regarding the LGBTQ community. Now, this topic has been a long time coming. This shit's been playing on my mind for a minute now. You know, I've been wanting to talk about stuff like this like in the past, but I never knew how to like come about it. And you know, with me doing my many researches on this specific topic and, you know, going through it in like, you know, life experience and stuff, just living back home and stuff, I feel like now I'm more prepared and equipped with talking about stuff like this. So that's what we're gonna basically do today. I wish I could say that I'm so excited to get into this, but honestly it's kind of depressing and it's kind of sad, and it just also makes me mad. So it's like a whole bunch of different emotions that comes with talking about this topic. Okay, so Jamaica is a very homophobic place. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know that Jamaica is a homophobic place. And you know, I wouldn't say like everyone there is homophobic, but majority of the population there is homophobic. Like, it's embedded in the culture. If you listen to like the music and stuff, you will literally hear nothing but spitting homophobic slangs within the music lyric. Now, Jamaicans don't accept the LGBTQ community. They don't accept gays, period, point blank. Now, Jamaica is one of the most dangerous and homophobic countries out there.
Gays and lesbians in Jamaica live in a state of constant fear. We live knowing that the probability of us being killed is very high.
Dwayne Jones was a transgender youth who was chased out of home at about 14 years old. He was killed because he was at a party, he was dressed in female wear, and someone at the party outed him.
This was at a street dance with about 300 people, and it appeared that no one attempted to intervene as they ran him down, stabbed him, shot him 3 times, and then ran over him with a car and left him to die on the side of the road.
How does it reflect on society when you have a 16-year-old kid that's being so brutally murdered and nothing happens, no consequence? When I was in Jamaica, I interviewed over 77 LGBT people, the one thing that we heard time and time again was about how they were not accepted by society. Kids as young as 12 years of age being kicked out of their homes.
I was beaten by 6 guys along with my brother and my mother in Spanish Town, where I had to run and pack my things and leave from that community. That's how I ended up here.
I have been following the homeless LGBT youth who live in storm drains. For these youth, it means that they have shown signs of behavior that is outside of the heterosexual norms. That may mean that they are bullied at home, at school, or bullied within their families. Sometimes communities threaten to beat the gay youth, presumably to beat the gayness out of him. And the threat can be escalated to threats of death or threats of burning down the home in which the youth lives.
You know, growing up as a gay black male, you know, life was tough for me. You know, like I expressed like in my coming out videos, you know, I was bullied growing up in Kingston, Jamaica. You know, I normally get into, you know, tons of fights with, you know, my peers and stuff. Like, you know, guys back home in school and stuff. It's not easy and it's not safe to live and walk the roads of Jamaica when you're a part of the LGBTQ community. People in Jamaica will judge you, and also your life will be at risk while walking the roads in Kingston, Jamaica.
Homosexuality is not necessarily illegal in Jamaica. However, Jamaica does have the buggery laws on its books. The buggery laws are very old laws that come from when Jamaica was under British rule. While it doesn't outlaw homosexuality, it does outlaw anal sex between men. But the interpretation by different government agencies, including the police, fuels homophobia.
There have been too many cases in which persons who have attacked members of the LGBT community have not been charged, let alone convicted.
I was beaten up by 4 police officers in a pharmacy in Kingston in front of over 200 people. I went to live in hiding. One day I was stuck in traffic and a man walked across from a parked car on the other side of the road, and he came across and said to me, he said, "We'll find you and we're going to kill you." That was a life-changing moment. I didn't go back home.
People are leaving Jamaica because they fear for their lives. They don't feel safe at home in Jamaica, and they're moving to countries like Canada to find safety.
The reason I left Jamaica is because I was kicked out of the closet, so I had to flee the country that I was born in to seek refuge in a country where I am fully accepted for my sexual orientation.
I worry every day about the LGBT people in Jamaica. I worry every day. I get phone calls, I got emails, I get letters asking me for help. My life is in danger back home. Can you help?
No one deserves to be hunted and chased out of their homeland. And I think it's supported by our government in the fact that they don't do anything. Why we just can't be allowed to be who we are and treated with the respect and dignity that we deserve.
They don't want no parts or nothing to do with the LGBTQ community. They don't like the gays. In Jamaica, you literally have a lot of people going homeless all because of their sexuality and their family basically disowning them. In Jamaica, it's very tough to like be yourself, being a part of the LGBTQ community without receiving backlash. Now, a lot of people in the LGBTQ community has lost their life because of their sexuality living back home. Now, if it wasn't for my friends, like I said, like in videos in the past about my coming out story, if it wasn't for my friends, like my girlfriends that had stood beside me during that whole craziness, I don't know if I would have probably been sitting here talking to y'all. Because they literally had my back. They are the reason why I'm still around, to be honest, because I used to go through a lot back home. I was always depressed, and You know, I used to have like a lot of anger built up in me because I didn't know how to express myself, or I was also battling a whole bunch of other shit, girl, when I was like, you know, growing up. Also, I remember like when I was also back in school, there was this guy that was also a part of the LGBTQ community. He used to be openly and proud about his sexuality. He was one of the guys that did not give two fucks who the fuck want to talk about him. And he normally get into a lot of fights with, you know, the other straight boys and whatever the case might be. Now, back then, I was also kind of sort of in the closet, even though my sexuality was very expressive. Like, you could tell that I was gay back home. So I wouldn't really say I was in the closet, but in my mind, for some reason, I always say that I was in the closet, even though clearly society, I wasn't in the closet. They all knew. Now back home, with me being in the closet or whatever, you know, going to school and stuff, seeing this guy, you know, being openly and proud about his sexuality and fighting all, you know, all the guys or whatever, because at one point they were ganging this motherfucker. They were ganging this guy. There would be like 10 guys against this one gay guy, and he would be whooping each and every one of their asses. He was the type of guy that took no bullshit from nobody. He defended himself, he stand his ground, and yeah. Now back home, a lot of gays are homeless, and you know, they will live in like this, back home we call it the gully, so they will be in the gully living like underneath the bridge and stuff, and it's like really unsanitary. It's not safe. Like they could catch like a whole bunch of shit just by being under the gully and whatever, because people throw like garbages, you know, dispose of animal corpse and, you know, just crazy shit in the gully. So it's really like unsanitary for like the gays when they're homeless and they're like living under a bridge in the gully and stuff.
An underground community, and when they say underground, it really means underground. This storm drain in New Kingston is designed to carry away things that don't belong on the streets, usually flood water and rubbish.
Hello. Hello, good day. Hi guys.
Now it's become home to a group of people who say they've been swept out of Jamaican society because of their sexuality.
Is this your bed then?
It's my bed.
How many people stay on this one?
Sometimes 3.
And how many of you will sleep down here at once? What's the maximum you've had?
Roughly 25.
25? That's a lot of people.
A lot of gay men don't live nowhere.
Surviving down here takes careful housekeeping.
A juice, a banana chips, I'm a little grocery something. Keep in here. No rat alone.
So there's loads of rats.
Lots of rats.
Even outside, the gully is hot, crowded and filthy.
So Paul, how did you end up down here then?
Well, you know, I'm homophobic country, so you couldn't go sitting at the park, 10, 20 man, roll on and talk or laugh. If gay people are going to meet, you know, you need a safe space to meet.
In the last few months, this meeting place for gay men has become a home and a sanctuary from homophobic attitudes at large in the country.
Have any of you experienced violence?
See there, one man swing one stone in my face. They cut my teeth and bust up the whole of my mouth.
Quite a few of us under this right here get serious damage.
Sasha Berry says she was attacked for being transgender. She was born male, but always felt female. She went to meet one man and found herself ambushed by a gang of a dozen.
One of them doing the damage. One of them have the knife and then doing the damage.
What, he stabbed you?
Yes, or punctured the lung.
Jeez, it punctured your lung?
Yeah.
How many times did they stab you then? You didn't...
4 times.
4 times? You could have died.
Now, back in Jamaica, you know, even though the LGBTQ community isn't accepted or allowed or whatever the case might be, the lesbians, though, they do have it way more easier than us gays, because the lesbians are more accepted back home than the gays are. The lesbians, like girls on girls, is more like, okay, it's appropriate. It may not be like as accepting to all the Jamaicans back home, but like majority of Jamaicans do accept the lesbian relationship over the gay on gay relationship, like the guy on guy type relationship.
In Jamaica, a lot of people pretend to be homophobic. Some people are, right? But a lot of people pretend to be homophobic, yet still there are so many gays in Jamaica. On the other hand, however, A lot of lesbians are here, but they don't get the same treatment as a gay guy. Why is that? Is it because men like to see two women together, even if they're holding hands? Make one man go hold on other man on.
Now, I did came across like this interview with, you know, the prime minister. Basically, I think he was like overseas. He was basically like doing an interview with, you know, whatever. I will insert that clip in this video.
Because
this topic, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to bring to light. And, you know, like nobody's talking about this. Like no Jamaican YouTubers are out here talking about, you know, topics like this, situations like this that is happening back home. And I just felt the need to like, you know, bring it up, bring it to my channel. We need to spread, you know, just like awareness with what's happening back home regarding the LGBTQ community, because a lot of people back home needs help. You know, they need the resources. They can't be themselves, and a lot of people back home too, I'm sure, is also transitioning and they can't get the necessary supplies to do so because the system there is fucked. So yeah, like I just wanted to make this video to like spread, you know, light, spread awareness to like my LGBTQ community back home. A lot of people from the LGBTQ community has also been like migrating from Jamaica to other countries in order to like escape the torture and, you know, just the whole crime-based situation in order for them to live their life. I'm just so tired of motherfuckers telling us what to do and who we should like and who we should like, you know, be with or whatever the case might be, because at the end of the motherfucking day, it's nobody's business. It's nobody's business who we like, who we sleep with, who we like want to do this, that, and the third with. It's none of your motherfucking business. So why are you pressed about who we sleep with and it got nothing to do with you? Like, make it make sense. Also, another thing that I wanted to bring up in this topic was that I've seen on social media that a lot of people from the LGBTQ community from other places always express that they want to visit Jamaica and stuff like that. And a lot of these people do not know that Jamaica is like homophobic, but at the same time, a lot of them wants to go visit Jamaica, and I would not sit here and be like one of those, you know, one of those people out here who are like, oh, don't visit Jamaica because Jamaica is homophobic. Jamaica is a beautiful country. The food is great. The music is great. You can learn a lot about Jamaicans' history and stuff. It's still a great country outside of being homophobic and whatever, girl. I love my country regardless. I might not agree with what my country stands for, but the food is great. Like I said, the culture itself, the music is refreshing. It's a vibe. Like there's no place like home. But I will say, go visit Jamaica, see for yourself how the culture is like, see how you like it basically. So that's it for today, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family. And like I always say, make sure you love yourself and be yourself. Periods. And I'll see y'all in the next YouTube video.